Good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Yeah, bank holiday show, short, sharp show on a bank holiday. For those of you who don't know what bank holiday means, it's a national holiday over here in the Isles of the UK. Now, we've got some updates in regards to Kieran Tierney. We've got some news about, I think, from Balogun, but definitely we've got some news about Kai Havertz and the conundrum, the £65 million conundrum. Problem, issue. Get on the other side of this music intro. Yes, welcome back again to Cannon Fodder TV, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. I forgot to mention as well, we might be talking about this gentleman over here. What's going on, man? What's going on? But anyway, on this bank holiday, national holiday over here in the UK, welcome indeed from me to you. Just click the like button. This isn't somewhere down. Just click the like button. That's all you have to do. Also, I'd like you to come into the live chat. Let me know your thoughts about Kai Havertz, Thomas Partey, and I think the permanent departure of Kieran Tierney, at least. So let's get into the news segment, I think, of today. Well, the first up, a hot topic about Kai Havertz. Now, former Sky Sports presenter Richard Keys, you know where this one's going to now, innit? Has slammed Mikel Arteta for experimenting too much with Arsenal's lineup in order to fit in Kai Havertz. The German international has had a tough start to life at Arsenal after joining them in the summer from Chelsea for £65 million. Now, Mikel Arteta has used Kai Havertz in a midfield three so far this season, but has so far been struggling to adapt to the Gunners' manager's system. On Saturday against Fulham, Havertz squandered an easy chance to score and was then substituted in the 56th minute as Arsenal were held 2-2 by the Cottagers. Now, Richard Keys that is, ex-Sky Sports presenter, he did not hold back after the match as he slammed Arteta for messing around with his starting lineup to fit in Havertz, who, according to the beIN Sport presenter, is just a less talented version of former Arsenal playmaker Mesut Ozil. Now, I'm not saying this. Richard Keys is saying this. Now, this is what he said. Speaking on beIN Sports, Keys said, he got in great areas, but the ball didn't arrive. So did I yesterday, and so did I yesterday, and the ball didn't arrive. So I was about as much use as the individual. No goals and no assists in 3 games, but he got in some great areas. I didn't think I'd find myself quoting Piers Morgan in this program ever, but I'm going to. Piers is right. Arteta is trying to be too clever. Get back to a back four with all the things that made them strong last season and stop messing around. Now, don't jump down my throat when I say this. Let me finish the statement. Havertz is the new Ozil. Again, I'm not saying this. Richard Keys is saying this without a talent. And the reason I say this is because both are enigmas. They didn't know what to do with Ozil, so they sold him. And now they've got and brought Havertz. I'm talking about under Arteta. Arteta couldn't handle him. He's like Guardiola. Neither of them can handle big players with big personalities. I kind of agreed towards the end of that, actually, but we'll probably get into that. So the Kai Havertz enigma. I don't know where to start on this one, to be honest. It's funny because last season I was talking about, or I was quoting my good friend Denzel Washington, and Denzel Washington said when he was presenting to some graduates in the United States that in order for you to have something you've never had, you need to do something you never did. And I said, well, I like Arsenal, and maybe at least Arteta, to be ruthless, selling certain players who are not going to take us to the next level. And I mentioned Thomas Partey. So, but the general premise was got to do something different. in order for us to get something we've never had. We've never had the Premier League in almost 20 years now. Got to change something up. Change something up in order to get that we've never had. But little did I know, he's gone 360, hasn't he? Towards the end of last season, you know, the lack of rotation with the small squad that we had. But here's something for you. For the small squad we had and the lack of rotation, it got us to almost winning the Premier League, didn't it? Didn't it? Now, the 360 or 380, so 380, 360, yeah, complete turn, is that he's tinkering now too much at the beginning of the season, not having any kind of, how can I say this, foundation. Now, when we're talking about a foundation, a nucleus of players that you know are going to form the basis of the first team, no matter what happens, unless there are injuries or suspensions. But you keep a nucleus of players. But he's been chopping and changing. And I'll give an example. Gabriel Jesus has been out injured until Saturday when he came on for the last 5-10 minutes. Who's been stepping into his shoes? Eddie Nketiah. Nketiah scored 2 goals in 3 games. And in the second game against Crystal Palace, he was the one who got us a penalty. And what does he do? He drops him for the Fulham game. So that's what I'm talking about with rotation. Why are you rotating like that for? Is he really trying to be too clever for his own good? I really don't know. Stick with the formula that's gotten you so far. Where's your nucleus? Where's your core group of players? Who is your strongest 11? Use that strongest 11 to go forward. And then when comes the time that you have suspensions or injuries, then you can say, well, you know what, now's the time for me to rotate. But you haven't had that yet. You haven't had it yet. So it's, for me, it's very, very strange. I wouldn't go as far to say that Havertz is the new Mesut Ozil. Oh, you know, he doesn't have talent. He does have talent, obviously. You know, otherwise he wouldn't be a German international. I wouldn't go as far as to say that, Richard Keys, but you know, it just been commenting on his thoughts, and that's his opinion. But my opinion is, how is it's gone from one extreme to the other? You know, when you're experimenting, because to me it's like he's experimenting. We're going to get to him in a moment, Thomas Partey there. To me, it's like you don't know your strongest 11. The players are still unsure what they're supposed to be doing, and you can see, you know, you've got Martinelli, who was in bucket loads of space. Where is he? On the left-hand side. He's always going to be on the left-hand side, isn't he? Left winger, heavy right-footed. In bucket loads of space, and sometimes the ball wasn't going to him. And when he was on the ball, it's like he was trying to process, what did Arteta tell me to do? Now, do you remember during Arsene Wenger's reign, he just told the players to get on with it. What I would do, let the players get on with it. They would sort it out themselves, rather than filling their heads with so much information. And then when you go out on the pitch, what are you doing? You're filling their heads with so much information. Let them go out there and express themselves. So, you know, Kai Havertz, for me, is just one part of the machinery that's misfiring. Misfiring. What do we need to do with Kai Havertz? Personally, I would pull him out. I would drop him. Drop him. And it's not down, I would say, to Kai Havertz. It's down to the manager. What system are you trying to implement that does not get the best out of Kai Havertz? And are you trying to flog a dead horse? Because maybe we saw the best of Kai Havertz when he was in the blue and white of Chelsea, not the red and white of Arsenal. And then I can hear the calls. But Alex, only 4 games in. I know that. I know that. But you saw what happened last season. There are certain games where we just, you know, left, got away with the win. And I'm seeing possibly the same thing, but a team that's so fragmented. So fragmented. It's like you've got the defense. You've got parts of the midfield. You've got the attacking part of the midfield, and you've got the strikers in bits and pieces, fragmented. And it took for the substitution of Arteta to bring on Fabio Vieira, Eddie Nketiah, and then we saw some remnants of something. Because Fabio Vieira, as much as I've been his biggest critic, he did a business, well, not on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side. Instant impact. Leonard Trossard, not an out-and-out striker. Play him in the strongest position out on the left. But yeah, I don't know what Arteta's trying to do. Is he really trying to experiment now that the Premier League has kicked off? Or is it the players not understanding what they're supposed to be doing? All I can say is it's like the 3 games that I've seen, it's like a team that really don't know what they're supposed to be doing. Coming to the live chat. I mean, I don't want to go too hard in, but I'm thinking Kai Havertz is not a Mesut Ozil, and Mesut Ozil is not a Kai Havertz. You can't say that Kai Havertz is a rubbish. He's not a rubbish player. He's a German international, and he plays in the Premier League. What he probably must be thinking, Havertz, how did I get here? How did I get here? Did I have the best of seasons? And they bought me for £65 million? Go figure. Go figure. And I'll tell you what, I feel sorry for Kai Havertz because I can see that he's lost his confidence. So what I would do, I would drop him. And it's not unfortunate. It has to be done. We play Man United on Sunday. But you can be assured as days follows night or night follows day that Kai Havertz will be in a starting 11. You know, it'll be difficult for, you know, a still inexperienced manager in Mikel Arteta to drop him because they spent £65 million. £65 million, I tell you. Yeah, Richard Keys, I don't agree with everything that you say there, but yeah, and then you know we're going to talk about Thomas Partey playing on the right as a inverted right back. Inverted right back. For me, stop that experimentation. It does not work. Doesn't work. And yes, inside 1 minute, I think maybe the ball was passed to Bukayo Saka from Ben Wright, methinks. And then you saw who vacated that space on the right-hand side. It was Thomas Partey to be inverted. So I don't know, sometimes as a footballer, you have like an instinct for certain passages of play. And you expect someone to be there when you pass the ball. And I think maybe in his mind, he was expecting a fullback, a right back to be in that position there. Because who else was he passing it to? Who else was he passing it to? So I do not blame Thomas Partey for the first goal. I do not blame Ramsdale for the first goal. And I don't blame Bukayo Saka for the first goal. You might say, oh, but what was Ramsdale doing there? But most goalkeepers like to try and anticipate something like this. And unfortunately, he got caught off his line. Not the first time. Not the first time. But this experimentation with having Thomas Partey as an inverted right back does not work. Doesn't work. For that reason, it's like he got sucked in, didn't he? Running into an inverted position, leaving the right back position exposed. There was no one covering there. Whereas if you had Ben White as a regular, you know, right back, a flat back 4, you know, it would have been, they would have been further up the pitch. They would have been further up the pitch, and it wouldn't be like you've got, you know, your best player, one of your best players in Bukayo Saka, feeling the pressure of the other players, feeling like he has to, you know, pass the ball back. Bukayo Saka would have been up the pitch if Ben White was our regular right back, not having Thomas Partey as an inverted right back. It just doesn't work. Because what happens, you leave that part there, that pocket there, exposed. And Fulham took full advantage of it. And I have no doubt Marco Silva would have done his homework. No doubt Marco Silva would have done his homework. Put pressure on that position there. It's going to be vacated because we know what's going to happen. Thomas Partey is going, once he's released the ball, or once you've pushed up, he's going to be inverted, and that space is going to be left open. So Marco Silva would have done his homework, and as well as Ramsdale as well. Remember when, against Sporting Lisbon, he got lobbed because he was off his line? Yeah. Anyway, to say Havertz is the new Mesut Ozil, I completely disagree with Richard Keys. Completely disagree. It's just that Arteta has to try and unlock his skill set, his mindset. But I can see Havertz has lost his confidence. And just something else as well. Good players find a way. Great players are the way. So good players, whatever the circumstance, situation, they will find the way to do what they need to do there. Great players, you say, I am the way. If you want me to produce, I am that player. But Havertz, £65 million, not being utilised, I think, in the right way. And then you got the likes of Fabio Vieira, you got Emma Smith-Rowe. It's a strange one for me. Really, really strange. So come into a live chat. Let me know your thoughts about, Kai Havertz, Thomas Partey as an inverted right back. Doesn't work for me. Does not work. Anyway, we'll go on to the second news segment. And even this gentleman here must be thinking, oh, thank God I'm not I'm not playing. Thank God I'm not playing. But anyway, also attracted interest from Germany. Nicolas Pepe. German clubs have also shown an interest in snapping up Arsenal. I wouldn't say flop, but the player who has abundance of skills, but we're not able to utilize it. This week has been claimed in Germany. A 28-year-old is in the final year of his contract, and nowhere close to being involved in Mikel Arteta's plans. Although he's been training on his own apparently at London Colney. He has not been part of Arsenal's preparations at the start of the season, and the club are actively looking to move him on. The Gunners want to sell Pepe, and the club are actively waiting for offers to land on their table in the coming days. Remember, we've only got a few more days before the transfer window closes on Friday, which is the 1st of September. There is interest from Saudi Arabia in Pepe, but nothing. But according to the German outlet Fußball Transfer, clubs in Germany are also interested in him. So I know what's going to happen to him, man. They must be thinking, oh, thank God. Oh, I don't want to be a part of this mess. There's a mess here. I don't want to be a part of the mess. Anyway, I've probably covered this before. Kieran Tierney, Real Sociedad welcomes a brave heart in Kieran Tierney. When Tierney arrived at Arsenal in 2019, he was regarded as the solution to our left-back problems as we were reaching the twilight of Nacho Monreal's time with the club, and Said Kolasinac wasn't up to scratch. His time at Arsenal has been plagued by a series of injuries, but he always put up committed performances and tucked in jerseys in every time he played for Arsenal. Now, when Arsenal let Kolasinac leave on loan before his eventual departure, Tierney was ever-present in the team, but he always tended to have lengthy injury layoffs, which hurt the squad in the long term. There was a strong run into the Europa League that saw Mikel Arteta weaken Arsenal's midfield to field Granit Xhaka play left back, which saw the Gunners lose out in the semis to Unai Emery's Villarreal. Then 2 seasons ago, Tierney and Partey injuries played a major role in Arsenal missing out on Champions League qualifications. Now, it is truly, I think, the end of the road for Tierney, although he's gone out to Real Sociedad, a great team, actually, and a great part of the country in Spain. As about the start of the adventure in La Liga sunshine, and I personally hope that he enjoys his football at the club. Real Sociedad is currently in the UEFA Champions League after an impressive 4th place finish in La Liga last season. So the potential for Tierney to feature against Arsenal in the competition will be a juicy prospect. But good luck to him. He has a contract until 2026, so Arsenal can take their time and make a decision on the future further down the line. But I'm sure all of you would agree with me that, for the time that he did play for us, Kieran Tierney was, for me, I love defenders who know the art of defending, and boy, could he do that. It's just the injuries, and then the arrival of Zinchenko, inverted Zinchenko. What's going on? Yeah, Arteta loves the invert, doesn't he? The inverted. Anyway, we go on the next news segment. I think I've just kind of spoken about this, isn't it? About Thomas Partey as an inverted right back. Well, at least on social media, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has been heavily criticised over his decision to play Thomas Partey in the right back position against his favourite midfield role. The midfielder has been deployed at the right back for all of Arsenal's first 3 games in the Premier League, with Declan Rice taking over the central midfield role. Since a few years ago, Arteta appeared to have won praise for improvising a role that many believe Partey had assumed perfectly up until their disappointing draw against Fulham on Saturday. It's pathetic. I'm actually furious. What frustrates me is that the most is that he did this during pre-season. Then I could, if he did this during pre-season, then I could understand that you are trying something. A frustrated Arsenal fan told Talksport. Partey at right back is wasted. Last season we came second in the league. Last season by playing Partey, Xhaka, and Ødegaard. You got rid of Granit Xhaka, moving Thomas Partey to right back, and you've put Declan Rice there and put Kai Havertz, who's played for Chelsea. However long and has ever played in the midfield, it makes no sense. Why would you try this? Arteta assured Partey of his place in the team, despite initial talks to move away due to the arrival of Rice and Jorginho. Now, Arsenal play Man United in the next game on Sunday. So, breathe, Alex, breathe. Do you know what? These have been the new segments currently running on Canon 4 TV land. Yeah, on the channel over here. I don't know what's going to happen, man. Really, I have no idea what's going to happen. They do say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But I say everything matters. Everything matters. How you speak to the players, how you buy the players, how you sell the players, how you prepare them for match day, and how the players respond to the instructions that you tell. Everything matters. But I'm looking at a team there that's so fragmented. The first 3 games of the season, they look like they don't know what they're supposed to be doing, or they're trying to process and think about what did he say to me? Meanwhile, the ball's passed them by. What's going on? I have no idea. All right, so what I need to do is go into our Twitter feed and see who has joined us or said something on Twitter at least. Let's have a look here. Right. Okay, someone called. Who's this? Juma Sarida has just retweeted that we are live. So, brother, thank you for retweeting that we are live. Come into the live chat if you've not already commented there. And yeah. So, just talking about the Kieran Tierney situation, we put out a poll yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, it was today. It was today. My goodness. And the question was, Kieran Tierney on loan, choose only one. Not a mistake. Or yes, a mistake. And in that time, we have received 244 votes, 1 comment and 6 likes. I've read the comment. I've not responded just yet. Jack, give me a moment just to reflect on what you just said there. So Kieran Tierney on loan, is that a mistake or is it not a mistake? 244 votes, 30% say it's not a mistake by loaning him out, and maybe he might not come back. And 77% of the votes say actually it is a mistake. On the left-hand side, bog standard defender, it's a mistake. For me, it's a mistake. All right, I've just refreshed that page to see if there's been any movements. Okay, yeah, there has been, but I'll get to reading that once we have finished this live show over here. So now it's time for me to go into the live chat, at least for the first time. And we've got Ashley, my brother's a wingman. He says, hey up, Gooners. No, before you ask a question, we haven't sold Gabriel Jesus. Luke, good afternoon. Luke. Bray, Wyatt passed away. Oh, yeah. I don't watch WWE anymore, but may his soul rest in peace. Gary, man. Morning, Alex in chat room. How are you, Gary? I saw the comments in our WhatsApp group. Kai Havertz. Dear me. Sorry about that. Havertz could be in your Willian. I don't know what to say. I think it's an unfair comparison. Again, it's not me saying it, it's Richard Keys, former Sky Sports presenter, who said basically Kai Havertz is a new Mesut Ozil, but with no talent. I was thinking that's a bit harsh. That's a bit harsh. Junior, good afternoon. Says, hey, goodness, hey there, Mr. Alex. Because Arteta has got a few players to choose from, he still doesn't know his best 11. I said that to my brother. When we finished doing the watch on, I said, you know what? He doesn't know his best 11, but he should know his best 11 and stick with it. And when it comes to a point to do the rotation because players are getting a little bit tired or fatigued or they're injured, then you start to rotate. But he doesn't know his best 11 to be consistent to win the Premier League. Spot on. Kai should have never started the season. He doesn't look ready for Arteta's system. Rice does. Timber did. Yeah, all the stuff about you've got to give him time. Good players find a way. They find a way, but I'm not saying that he's a bad player. Just thinking if you sacrificed, having Thomas Partey in the right back and then you put Trossard on the bench and you shifted some of the players around just to fit in a Kai Havertz. And guess what? Kai Havertz still can't find his feet. He doesn't understand the system. Then you've got to rethink it by taking him out of that system. And you know what? As you were, lads, like last season, as you were, because that formula, as you were last season, was working. I mean, the Americans say, what's the saying? If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. The only thing I would say was broken was his lack of rotation towards the end of the season, choosing players over and over again. Bukayo Saka tired, and we didn't have the depth. Now you have the depth. It's like you're using the depth and Kai Havertz as an excuse to rotate. No, because what's the end result? M1s, yes, long time, brother. Good day, Alex, and all the gooners. With a smaller squad, Mikel had to trust regular players in regular positions. Rotation, rotation of squad is undermine the players' trust. Mikel cannot isolate Martin. He cannot. Do you know what? It's like, my sister has got a Yorkshire Terrier, and when I walk him, it's like he's waiting to burst off the lead. But I've got to try and control him because, he's still a pup. Don't want to get hurt on the street. But when we get to the park, I let him run free. Martinelli, let him run free. Let him do his thing. Let him do his thing. But it's just like you've given him instructions that he's thinking, oh, what should I do? I'm in this position. I don't know what to do. Oh, my goodness. Grealish took a season and he was on form before he joined City and cost more. Arsenal should be able to give him time. Vieira showed what a year on a vetting could result in. I mean, all this stuff about him needs to be beefed up. And is he a number 10? Is he a number 8? What's his role? It looks like we found the answer, isn't it? Have him out on the left-hand side, whipping those crosses in, isn't it? Trossard worked well, feeding Martin. He did. And what happened? We took him off. Zinchenko and Gabriel are necessary for Arsenal to regain control, along with Partey back in the original position. Keep him in the centre of the midfield. Keep him in the centre of the midfield. Oops, sorry about that. Bye-bye, Pepe. Yeah, all the stuff about he's been training alone and Arteta speaking to him about what? If you really want him, he should be amongst the squads. the squad of well, the substitutions as a natural competitor or competing for that right side of the wing position for Bukayo Saka. So I tend to agree. You know, I mean, I was just thinking, there could be we're going to give him one more chance, but I think he's out, man. I think he's out. Just get the deal done. We've got a few more days before the transfer window closes, at least. And Ashley says, I'm surprised Smith Rowe has stuck around. Well, he has said when he signed his last contract extension that he wants to be a legend. Did he say he wants to be a legend? No, he said that he wants to be. What did he say? Well, he wants to stick around at least, anyway. But I don't know what's going to happen to Smith Rowe. I really don't. I've got no idea. No idea at all. What a mess. It's just like I don't even know what to say. Don't know what to say. Let's just check something out. Just to remind myself of something. Okay, yeah. So we are fifth. So here's the Premier League table so far. Are there a couple of surprises there? There's one surprise. West Ham are second. Yeah, so Man City are first. 3 wins out of 3. West Ham, who have just acquired Mohamed Kudus. I'm not sure if Lucas Paqueta is going to be staying or going and staying. But it looks like they're kind of getting their chess pieces into the right positions now, isn't it? Anyway, third is Denmark down the road. Fourth is Liverpool, who just beat Newcastle, just scraped past them with 10 men. Virgil van Dijk, red card. I'm not sure, was it a red card? And Arsenal are in 5th place with Brighton Hove Albion in the 6th position. And Aston Villa, good win for Aston Villa yesterday. In 7th place. So that is the table there. Dearie me. Yeah, Colin, man. Yeah. I've tried not to rant and rave about this one. Alex, let's go, Slackers. Smash that like button, gently smash it. Oh, Alex will fire me. I would never do that. I would never do that. We've just been chomping on the bits, Colin, you know, about Kai Havertz, Thomas Partey at right back, Kieran Tierney gone out on loan. I hope he has a really good season out there with Real Sociedad. San Sebastian, a nice part of the country there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Right. Let me just. All right. Okay. I've just seen something there that doesn't concern any football. Doesn't concern any football at all. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's go through these last few ones before we wrap up this one. Fabio, not known as Vieira, is keeping us on the bench or worse. What do you want? Do you want all squad players to get minutes on the bench, or would you rather see Arteta playing his strongest 11? And does Emil Smith Rowe form part of his strongest 11? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. And the main reason is you don't get to see him play, innit? Hasn't played. Let's break that shoehorn they are using to force Havertz. I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I think because I said everything I had to say inside 35 minutes. So do you know what? I think we're going to call this one quits. I just missed a phone call from the missus, from my wife. So I guess I'm going to have to give her a call back on this. Okay, yeah. So I'm hoping we're going to be having some new faces this week. As you know, this is the last week before the transfer window closes. Next week, in regards to the platform, that is, it will be the return of the Easy Talk almost every Friday. So next Friday. I will be doing a show this Friday, though, with James Rowe and I think maybe one other contributor. but we're going to be talking about some other bits and pieces. Yeah, I guess maybe the usual suspects in Kai Havertz, maybe Thomas Partey, but definitely about Mikel Arteta in the Champions League. And I think that is going to be it. I think. Yeah. So look out for this week, though. I'm hoping to have some new faces. Some new faces. We lose some, we gain a lot. I want ESR over Fabio. He has done way more proving himself. But it looks like Arteta doesn't see it that way. Colin doesn't see it that way. Oh. All right. Okay. So we have finished on this one. A thank you to you for joining me over here. I will be back tomorrow, giving some more live news segments. But when I am back tomorrow, I will have a couple of contributors, panelists with me, just chomping on the bits and lead up to the game on Sunday against another old enemy in Manchester United. Ah, dearie me. Mikel Arteta, the new Tinkerman arrives. Anyhow, this has been Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world.